What's up, mansion builders? I want to share the 4 action steps that you can start taking right now to jumpstart your assisted living investing career. These are all things that you can do as a newbie. When you do not know anything, this is actually how you learn. So I want to encourage you to get out there and fail. Take massive action. It is okay to screw this up. These 4 steps, we will risk no money. You're just going to be risking your time. But honestly, that time is time well spent because you're going to be learning. And this is honestly the only way to be successful is to get out there, screw it up, fail, take massive action, learn from the results, pivot, and keep going. So let's hit what are our 4 steps. The first is researching property that's for sale. Go online, use Zillow, use LoopNet, use Realtor.com, use whatever you need to, but go find property that is for sale, whether that's vacant land, whether that's a property with a building on it, whether you're gonna do an RAL conversion, whether you're gonna build new construction mansion. Find some available properties and call on it. Talk to the realtors. What is the deal like? Go walk that property. Don't be afraid that you don't have all your ducks in a row, you can't take the first step. You know what? This is you taking action. You don't have to have everything put together. You don't have to have your proof of funds letter and all that kind of stuff. Just call the realtor, say, hey, can I walk this property? Is it for sale? Just get out there and learn. The second step is going and talking to the city. Start with the planning and the zoning department. You already walked some properties, so take 1 or 2 of those example pieces of land and say, hey, you know what, city, here's what I want to do. I want to build an assisted living mansion. I want to do this home conversion. I want to have my own assisted living. And you know what? I want to do it on this piece of property right here. Here's the address. Is this okay? Does this meet the zoning types? And you'll find out pretty quickly yes or no, right? You need to explain what you want to do. Are you in the group home category? Are you in the assisted living category? Is that commercial? Is that residential? And find out if you can't do it on that zoning type, well, what zoning types can I do it on? And then you know what? You're going to go back to step 1 and you're going to go look at new properties. You're going to be calling those realtors. Hey, what's the zoning type, right? Let's push this forward till you can get to a place where you're walking properties that have the right zoning type that makes sense. And then you go back and you talk to the city again. And now you show up the second time, you talk to the zoning department and they say, yeah, okay, yeah, you can do it here. Then let's go talk to the building department, right? Here's what we want to do. We want to convert this property. We want to build new construction. What does it look like from a building perspective, right? What are my setbacks? Maybe you need to talk to the utility engineer at the city. How do I bring water and power and sewer? How do I connect to all these things? What's my impervious coverage? All these questions you can learn. It is only costing you time. You have risked no money yet. You haven't even put in an offer yet, no deposit. You are learning so much and it is all free. As you're talking to the city and you start getting through some of these potential deal killers and you think, well, you know what? This piece of land, this actually might work. Then you may consider doing some type of rough draft site plan. So I've found some contractors that will do a rough draft site plan for me for just a couple $100. You can find them online. You can get some basic information from the city. Here's my survey of the property. Here's where my roads and driveway is going to be. Here's where my building is going to be. Here's my setback. All those kind of things. For a couple $100, you can go and have something drawn up. And then you're able to go and have some serious conversations with the city. You can go to the fire marshal and say, okay, here's what we want to do. Here's the square footage of my building. Where are my fire hydrants going to go? Where am I going to connect to the city utility line? Do I need a detention pond? Where's my parking going to go? All of those kind of things. You can still do all of those kind of things in this rough draft stage. I spent $240 to have a rough draft site plan done for me. And you know what? That's money well spent, because at that place, even if I'm not ready yet, I know exactly what I can do and what I can't do. And next time I have all my ducks in a row, I'm able to pull the trigger, make an offer on something. So the third thing you should be doing is talking to lenders, talking to banks. Whether you want to go to a local commercial lender, whether you want to look at an SBA lender, maybe you even want to talk to hard money lenders, right? You're going to have maybe 2 different types of loans, some type of takedown loan to get the property done, or you might just have one big permanent loan that includes all your construction. But you need to talk to lenders on the front side long before you think you're ready. You should call these lenders, right? You should find out who's done assisted living deals, talk to those people, send them your financials, send them your taxes, send them your pro forma, send them what you have. Here's what I want to do. And this way you can really find out, can I do this kind of deal on my own? Do I have the financial backing to be able to do it? Is my income strong enough? Is my deal strong enough? Is my net worth, my balance statement strong enough? Or if it is not, you'll know ahead of time, and then You're like, well, what do I need from a financial partner? Do I need to bring on a money partner that has assets in the bank? They have equity in properties. They have a good balance sheet to be able to say, hey, you know what? I have financial backing on our ownership team here that can come and support me where maybe I'm lacking in these areas. And the fourth thing you can do right now is talk to potential investors. Anyone could potentially be an investor for you. So really that means talk to everyone. Here's what we're doing. Share your story, share your journey. For me personally, it's been friends from church, friends from the gym, people that I met at RIA meetings, not usually strangers, right? So go and talk to the people that already know you, that already trust you, but be posting your journey. Everything we just talked through, step 1, 2, 3, right? As you're looking at land, as you're talking to the city, as you're standing in front of the fire department, be tagging those things, be taking photos. Here's what we're doing. So that way, when you get to this fourth step, right? You're talking to potential investors, people who may not be like big shot investors, right? That do all these kind of deals. They're really like people from your church and your mother-in-law's best friend or those kind of people. Those are people who invested with me, right? Those kind of people are following you already on social. So you have to be showing step by step by step. And then you're just telling them what you want to do. Tell them your vision. Explain the niche. A lot of times people don't know really what we're trying to do here. They think, big, smelly facility. They think nursing home. They think nurses in the building and all this kind of nasty stuff that's kind of outdated that you see in movies. And say, hey, we're not doing that, right? Our niche is assisted living, or maybe it's end-of-life care, or it's memory care. We're going to be building this gorgeous 10,000 square foot mansion with private rooms, and it's going to be super high end. Or maybe we're converting a house. Whatever you're going to do, share the vision. Share that it's smaller, that it's more intimate, that you're going to have the best of the best care. You're going to have your own chef. You're going to have 24/7 around the clock staff. People don't really know what to expect. So paint the entire picture for them. And then you just start putting it together for them. You're like, hey, here are the properties that I've walked, right? I didn't make an offer on this because I'm putting all the pieces together, but it's gonna be something like this property over here, right? It's gonna be this size, and we're gonna build a mansion. We're gonna put it right over here. I went and already talked to the city. I know I can do this zoning type. I've already talked to the building department, and I've already talked to the fire marshal. We can do it just like this. Here's an example of a rough draft site plan of what it would look like right here. Then you move on, you say, you know what, I've already talked to some banks and they specialize in funding for construction for assisted livings. I have connections for lenders who will work with us. I just want to put our team together before we go and start making offers on properties. Is this something you are interested in, right? Would you want to hear more about these kind of things? And when I find the right property, should I talk to you about this? These 4 things you could do, it will cost you nothing, maybe $240 if you did the site plan. But honestly, you're gonna get so far through this thing, and you might not do it one time. You might do this multiple times. You'll probably look at lots of different properties. You might talk to 3 or 4 different cities. You might go to the same city 4 or 5 times with different pieces of property as you are going through this and getting further and further and further through the due diligence. But as soon as that one property comes up that becomes available, it's the right zoning, it's the right size, it's the right neighborhood, you have already learned these lessons. You are going back to that investor and saying, you know what, we got to jump on this piece of land right here. I've already know all the things about it. I know it's going to be the perfect. I know what the numbers are going to look like. Let's go. Let's do this. But if you didn't take these action steps, if you were too scared, or if you were waiting to know everything before you started looking at land, before you started talking to investors, it's never going to happen. The only way to learn these things is to get out there and do it. And you know what? It's not like you're going to do it one time and succeed. You will not look at one property and buy it, right? You will fail, and it is okay to fail. Failure is the prerequisite to success. I looked at so many pieces of land before I bought our property. It was actually probably 6 months of looking at land, walking through so many different properties, going to the city so many different times, sitting in pre-application meetings with the city and the fire marshal and the building department, all that kind of stuff. I put in the time. It didn't cost me any money. You know what? There was sometimes I made offers and I put deposits down, but I had that time period to not risk that money to be able to pull out. So put yourself in a position where you don't risk any money, but you're able to learn, go through the school of hard knocks, and get in a position where when that one opportunity comes up, it's the right one. You've already done all the legwork. You've already failed 5 times. And you know what? I've learned these 5 lessons. Now I'm ready to go. So I hope this has encouraged you to take massive action, to get out there and learn by failure. And if you don't know what to ask the city, if you don't know what to say to investors, I have resources for you on the website. Hit assistedlivingmansion.com. The free resources, there are 2 free courses in there. One going through location selection, what type of land to look like, what kind of questions to ask the city and the fire marshal. And then there's another one on funding, how to structure the deal with the bank, with investors, how to raise money, what type of bank should you use, should you go SBA, should you go commercial, all the pros and cons of these things. So I hope that I am able to be a resource for you in order for you to do a one and done deal.